Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today. I have a great guest today, Andrew Shoukry. He has a great YouTube channel, Shoukhouse, which is talking about interior design, staging, how to design your home, practical tips, and much more. We talk a lot about just interior design, how to make beauty out of a home, a little bit about history, why, modern architecture is the way it is, and what to do moving forward. Stay tuned, guys. Thanks. How are you, Andrew?
Doing well. I really appreciate you having me today as your guest. I'm a little shy because I'm like, believe it or not, even though I make like content, like sometimes I still get like camera shy, but
yeah.
I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, no, it happens to us all, of course. Thank you for coming. Your YouTube channel is just extremely interesting to me. You have interior design experience and content creation all wrapped up in one. And the thing is that you don't see as many men in that space, which I feel like is important for men to be in this space too. What motivated you to get in this space?
Well, to be honest with you, like I've always been into the like arts and into designing things. Ever since I was like, a kid, I would always like paint and stuff like that. But, I didn't want to go to college. So I decided to go to school. Like my mom really wanted me to go. And, I was like, all right, at least I'm going to get a degree in something that I like. So I got my degree in design. And my mom actually, like, unfortunately she passed away when I was a bit young, around like 20 years old when I was in college. Thank you. And she told me, like, because I already had a job at the bank and I was doing well for myself, like for my age anyway, and like it had good trajectory. So I really didn't think like I would go back into the designing space. And then she told me, like, like literally one day before she was like leaving, she was like, I really want you to get your degree. So I feel like I kind of kept on getting these little pushes, to do it. And anyways, I got my degree really to make her happy. I had a lot of raw talent in design, and school really helped me like refine that and actually helped me translate that into projects and stuff like that, which is great. But anyways, since I was doing well at work, I didn't really feel the need to go into design. I just would design my own spaces, like my own homes and stuff like that. But anyways, it wasn't until really like my that job that I had actually like had to lay me off, and then I was like, I really I kept on going for that, but then I got a call from a real estate agent that I'd worked with in the past, and she was telling me like, hey, like, would you like to stage a home? And that was really how it started. So I think like I don't know, like God like really wanted me to do it, and it just and now as I started doing that and staging, I was like, let me film the process. As I would go into homes, I would notice like there was a lot of things that I was fixing, and I'm like, like let me make content about this. Like I bet there's people all around the country that need help with this. So really, like, my channel is just focused on, helping the average individual, like, make the most out of their home, like, make it a place that they want to come home to. So, I feel super blessed that this kind of turned out this way. It's a little bit of luck, a little bit of accident, a little bit of, like, skill, and, I'm happy to be doing it.
Yeah. And what's the difference between, like, interior design and staging a home?
Great question. So, they're both kind of synonymous. So like staging a home is part of interior design, but interior design is not all staging a home, right? Like interior design is just general like interior spaces, and it can be done. It could be like fixed elements being changed or being remodeled, like beams or posts being put into a home, or a kitchen being redesigned. And one element of interior design is the decor element, right? So staging is where you you have a home up for sale, and you want it to look nice. So what you do is you kind of like depersonalize everything. Like, let's take away all the family photos because you want the person who's buying the home to, like feel like it's theirs, right? So, and depersonalizing it, making it, rearranging the furniture. I'm sorry. Rearranging the furniture, adding some rugs, adding some new pieces to really help the home stand out with the architectural elements of it. And, that's
what it's okay. Awesome. No, No, that's important because like if I was buying a home, I wouldn't want like
For
someone's
sure.
family photos and like it's
Even but I've made that mistake where like I was like selling one of my homes in the past, and I did not depersonalize it or anything like that. So I think like once I got into the space, I of course like you kind of learn these things too. Yeah, some of it you learn on the fly and with experience and all that. But I always like I'm always transparent with my audience, where it's like I've made a lot of the mistakes myself that I'm helping people stay away from, and that's why I feel like strongly to like steer people away from them.
Yeah. What do you think? What? How do you get started? Like when you were starting your YouTube channel, you kind of just drop your first video, but like, how do you get started? Because there's a lot of people that want to start a YouTube channel, want to start content creation, but they're like afraid. Like, what is it that gave you that courage to get started in the first place?
Wow. I mean, you could kind of relate to this, right? Like, it's a little scary to get started, put yourself somewhere publicly. Like, you never know who's gonna see it, but
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
or like how it's gonna look, or you go back 100 videos and you're like, man, that was super like cringy, or like that was edited so badly. But I think you just have to just do it. Like, just get started, and your first video is gonna be bad. Like, you gotta take that out of your head that you're gonna have a perfect video in the beginning. I'm still, in my opinion, not even close to the quality that I want to be putting out. And as long as each video I can improve one thing, then I'll be fine. Maybe in 2 years from now, I'll be like, wow, like I'm really happy with the content. But I'm still not truthfully like happy with the videos I'm putting out. I think I just took it out of my head that I'm gonna have a perfect piece of content every time. And if I have an idea, I'm gonna film it, I'm gonna edit it, do my best, and just as long as I can get a little bit better each video, to me that's like the most important thing.
Yeah. Did you always have like that growth mentality coming into it, or did you kind of learn it along the way as you were dropping videos? Because some people think like, if I start a channel, I'm gonna be dropping amazing videos from day one.
Yeah.
And some people are more realistic.
For sure.
Were you more like, what side were you more on?
I've always been growth minded, but I would say like the main thing is not the expectation that you get from the channel like shouldn't be that you're gonna monetize it one day, like I'm gonna make a lot of money from this, because then there's no like that, isn't that drive like to make you want to do it. I think it should be more about like documenting a process, or like having a mission behind what your channel is. Like for me, it's like I want to help people with their homes. So each video, if I get like 6 likes, I feel good, because 6 people are finding that useful, which is it feels good to me. So I think the likes, the views, and all that will definitely come later, and you just have to enjoy the journey. So definitely growth oriented in the sense where I just want to grow and get better, but not necessarily growth oriented where I'm like, I need this to start making money and like, all that. Cause I feel like then it would become more of like a job, and it won't be,
Right,
satisfying,
Yeah. No, I definitely relate to that. It's like when you focus on specific aspects of it rather than just creating and getting better, it does become like you get in your head and everything starts becoming a job. And no, that's a really big trap to avoid. Absolutely.
And can I just say, like, I love your channel.
Oh, you
like,
do? Thank you.
It is legit like one of my favorite places, bro. Like to go and look at content. Your interview style is so like, it's very engaging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just like I actually take some inspiration from like the way you edit your videos, like the quality, the sound and all that. I'm like, wow, that looks so good. Like, so I hope that like one day I can also like on my end like improve to that level. But I love your channel. I think it's such a great like reference point. Like if you want a channel or you want to start something on your own, like I would definitely start by looking at like what you're putting out.
Oh, wow,
get inspired for sure.
Thank you. No, I really appreciate that. It means a lot. My question is, like interior designers, what is like kind of the biggest mistakes they make, things that they should avoid in your opinion?
Like other designers, or like people that are like decorating their homes?
They're like decorating their homes.
I would say like definitely rushing the process, getting everything from one like matching set, like I think when we move into our first apartment, our first home, we really want it all decked out in the beginning. And it's okay to just take your time. It's okay to just buy one thing at a time as your budget allows. And, because your taste is going to change. What you want right when you move in is not going to be what you want after a couple of years. So yeah, definitely like not getting a matching set, like not feeling obligated to have it all put in place together. Measurements are super important, so like you see a couch in the store and it looks small because it's in this huge showroom, and
Yeah.
you put it in your house and it's like really big. So yeah, measurements. I would also say, shameless plug, but like it's okay to consult a designer. Like, maybe you don't need a designer to lead your entire project, but I think it's really worth the money to take your ideas and, maybe someone on the internet like me, or like maybe a designer in person or a friend with great taste, like just present your ideas to them, show them your space, show them what you want. I think that 1 hour session will save you so much money, or so many mistakes to avoid, like when you're decorating your home. So,
But I really want to get into that, because I think that it is very helpful having a 1 hour personalized session. Let's say I wanted to have it. Let's just say hypothetically, I purchased a new home, and I'm like, man, I don't know left from right for designing.
Yeah.
I want to get your advice. If I were to contact you, walk me through that process.
So I always have like a kind of like a questionnaire that I give to people before our sessions, kind of like a doctor visit, like, like how do you have pain here or whatever. But like I basically
I love that he's in the details. Yeah.
Like I want to know what you like, because in the end of the day, like of course you want to hire me because you want to know what like my taste is, but in the end of the day, like it's your home, so I want to know what you like. What is your lifestyle, and I'll touch on the lifestyle part in a second. Like one mistake that like I did a decorating project with a client, and I'll tell you about it. But yeah, like what is your lifestyle? Like, do you have kids? Do you have pets? Like, so then that's going to dictate like what kind of furniture we're going to pick. Are there how would you describe your design style in 3 words or something like that? Like, what do you want to feel when you enter your home? And then from there, like, if you have ideas to show me, I'll look at them and I'll say like, hey, this is great. I probably wouldn't do this furniture piece because it's very trendy right now, and I don't think it'll last the test of time. Or instead of having all your wood match, maybe have some of this, and I just take your idea and refine it a bit. So it's still it's still what you want, but just helping you avoid those costly mistakes that are gonna come with you just naturally just not being in the space. It's totally normal. But yeah, when I was talking about lifestyle, like I had a client, she wanted all white furniture. And I love the look of cream furniture, but I was like, the lifestyle you described to me does not match like having all white furniture. And, like I would suggest like having maybe one piece, like the main piece all white, and then like having some of your other stuff, being other colors. But I was like, I'll give you what you want if that's what you want. We ordered the white furniture. It was custom made. It came in immediately next day. It was like, no, this is not going to work. And it's already getting dirty. And it was, mind you, it was like performance fabric, and it was still like not holding up. So, I think like, yeah, like your lifestyle is kind of dictate naturally like what kind of furniture you do. And I'd say use that to your advantage,
Wow. Okay, that's super interesting. No, because I didn't think. Because usually clients, well, like with clients and consultants, clients want to be, I don't want to say they want to be right, but they want to like be validated in their opinion. But the thing is like, it was that quick of a turnaround. So no, that means you definitely know what you're talking about.
I see.
Because if that wasn't the case, that wouldn't have happened. But
yeah, for me, I always want to do what the client wants naturally, because that's who's paying for it. That's who's like, it's you, that's who's living in it. So my goal is really to just give you what you want, but if I can help you avoid some of those like minute mistakes, and it might not be a mistake that's like the design choice you're making, it just might be like let's change the tone on this, let's change the fabric on this piece that you like, and just really helping you refine that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it seems like at least with design and staging and everything, the little details make a big difference. Would you say that's a thing?
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. You know me, I'm a big fan of like thrifting stuff too. So I'm
Oh yeah, you
always
talk about it a lot. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's my favorite thing because it's the one thing that you can get that nobody else is gonna have. You know, like if you're gonna shop at any really exclusive store, even at that point they're making so many of them, other people can still buy that. Um, and I'm a fan of having like your base furniture being like, you know, new and like from a store that you admire, but those little accents, those little details are so important. You know, you can thrift them. If you there's little doorknobs in your house, you can change them. Light switches, you can change them. Like those are things that really like help your take your home from being already amazing to being even better. You know.
wow, I love that. So my thing is like what I'm wondering is when you enter a space or go inside like a room or a house, you want a certain energy that's coming up.
Exactly.
Ha when you enter a space, does that energy automatically come up to you? And then you're either good with it or you're not good with it, or do you come in and try to like, how do I say it? When you go into a house and you feel an energy, what energy is it that you naturally want to feel is what I'm asking.
I think I see. I know what you're saying. So it's you know, like every time when anyone walks in anywhere, you get a feeling, right? Like,
Yeah.
and you know, what I feel is like I really want to pay attention to the architectural elements of the home. So it's like if I go in and I see really nice curved arches and it's like a Spanish style home, right? I want to match that with the furniture. I don't want to put any mid-century modern or like skinny leg furniture into a home that has like, you know, really beautiful Spanish tiles and all that. You want to match that. So you want to bring in furniture that, you know, matches the architectural elements. I think really when I approach a design, I try to take as much out of my hands as I can. And what do I mean by that is like let the space dictate what I put in, you know, the architectural elements, you know, the size of it. So if I already know it's like a small room, then that already eliminates a bunch of stuff that I need to use anyway. Like I can't
Oh,
use a big
okay.
sectional
I
now because
see.
it's a so like use the process of elimination to get into what you can use. And now that I know what I'm allowed to use, then that helps me pick a design much faster.
I see. How important is color palette in a house? How important is that? Because a lot of people, like myself included, you want to stick to like one or two colors. We
Mm-hmm.
don't really want to experiment with it. But I've always wondered, like, is color pattern in a home or in interior designing, how important is that?
Well, color is extremely important, and yes, thank you. Is that good? Color is extremely important, and you know, I think a lot of people do feel comfortable sticking with like two colors. And you could really nerd out with color, like you could, oh, there's tones, and then there's shades, and then there's tints, and all that. But I would say if you're someone who's like, you know, you just want to like, what colors do I choose? I'd say first of all, like pick your favorite color. Like, what color do you want to see? For some people, it's blue, right? So you take blue and you put it on the color wheel. Online, there's plenty of free color wheels, and you look at like what's opposite to blue because that's what's going to complement blue. So then you look at blue and it's going to be orange. It doesn't have to be blue and orange in your space, but what's a variation of orange? Maybe brown. You know, maybe you know, add some greenery as well because green is, you know, complementary, right? So you want to have like not just the two colors. So like blue and brown could be your base colors, and then you kind of divert a little bit. Like now, what goes with blue and brown? Like maybe a little bit of like red or burgundy or something like that. And I would also say to avoid really saturated versions of that favorite color. So if your favorite color is blue, like maybe not royal blue, you know, maybe a nice faint blue or you know, a very deep navy or something like that.
Wow. Okay. No, I like that you're really getting into the details because a lot of people, unfortunately, like they see what's trending. Let's say it's a royal blue, and then that's what they're going to be recommending to their customers. But
Hmm.
what I like about you is you kind of take a counter approach. You're like, okay, what is really in kind of overused almost right now, and
Right.
you look into what's overused and you try to tone it down a little bit, kind of to personalize your home. Let's
Exactly.
say if you were designing like your typical home, how would you want it to be designed?
You know, okay, I'll answer it this way. Like I designed my home in 2021. Yeah, 2021.
Okay, a
And
couple years ago.
there's already
Yeah.
stuff that I would do different.
Yeah, yeah.
To be honest. Like I picked like I love my kitchen, but I picked like glossy white cabinets at the bottom, and then I picked like these like oak cabinets at the top, and I think it looks great, but I went like too modern forward. So moving forward, I'd probably pick stuff with like a little bit more character. I'd have, maybe just a natural flat sheen on my cabinets and all that. But yeah, I think if I was designing stuff, I'd like to see a little bit more like shapes in my home. Like more curvy elements, like, changing the actual architecture a little bit and stuff like that. I feel like I'm like really nerding out right now.
No, I like it. No.
But yeah, like things like that. But some things like I would have done different, like for sure, is like the spacing on the cabinets. Like there's little gaps from the cabinets to the wall. So maybe I would want to go a little bit more like custom in the future. But yeah, I don't know. Like there's so many beautiful things. Like I've always wanted to have like a bourbon room. Have you ever like seen one of those?
No, what's a bourbon room?
Like a bourbon, like a drinking, like bourbon.
Oh, bourbon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all dark and brown, and like there's like yellow lights, and you have like you get to display your alcohol collection behind you and stuff. But I think that's super sick. So if I ever have enough space one day, like I'd probably want to do that.
Okay. No, that sounds really cool. It's like it's a dark vibe, but it's like an intimate vibe.
Yeah. Like, it just really like helps you unwind. Also, I love like a mid-century home. I think those are so gorgeous. They have them all around LA, like in the hilly areas. And it's like they're all from the 50s. They're kind of like historic from the 40s and on. And those homes are so beautiful to me. Mid-century modern is my favorite design style. So if I guess my home now is a little mid-century, but if I ever get the opportunity, like my dream home, it would be either like a Spanish style home or like a mid-century home, like maybe on a hill with a view. I think that would look really great.
Yeah, you talk a lot about from what I've seen in your content, you talk a lot about mid-century and Spanish style homes. What is it about mid-century that kind of is your favorite? Is it how you're talking about it's in the middle, or it's in the middle of modern and
Yeah, no, and that's exactly right. It kind of is in the middle of that, because it's sleek, right? It's sleek design, but it's also like it doesn't feel robotic. Like this chair is mid-century modern actually, like that like those skinny like legs and all that. My favorite movie is The Incredibles.
Oh yeah.
And the whole movie is mid-century modern, and I always looked at like, because it's actually, people don't know this, it's based in the 50s, The Incredibles. And I always looked up, when I was a kid, I was fascinated by that movie, and I looked up like, what is this decor? Like it looks so cool, the vibe is so sick. And I think that's where it probably started from, was like from The Incredibles, really? Believe it or not. And then Spanish style is just so beautiful, like it's just hard to not like. If you ever go to like Santa Barbara or something, like they have like city codes where any new building has to be built like Spanish style. So like, but I think it's so beautiful. If you ever go to Santa Barbara, you just see like all the buildings are like, have the Spanish shingles on the roof, and like the colors are so gorgeous, very colorful, but also very understated. So I like that one as well.
So your attention, you have really, really good attention to detail. Like everything fits. Do you think this is something you're born with, or do you think it's something you develop?
So I was thinking about this yesterday, and not that exact question, but I did notice that I have a natural instinct to want to know why things are the way they are. Like I literally if I'm watching a movie or a show, I'll be like, I don't know, like I'll make like a connection, and I'll just want to okay, I was watching Winning Time the other day, and Magic Johnson got a $500,000 contract, and he was spending all this money, and I'm thinking today, like, man, $500,000 does not seem like it was stretched that much. But anyways, I naturally needed to know how much would $500,000 be worth today, like, so I can really be like placed into that like realm that they're in of like how much money that feels like. But anyways, I feel like I have a natural like want to kind of dissect things and like know why things are the way they are. So I've been an artist my whole life, honestly, like ever since I was even 4, like I was picking up a pencil and drawing, but I don't think that you need to be born with that. Like I think you can learn it. And that's really what I preach too, is like, I don't expect all my viewers to have like a natural talent for it. There's people that don't have it and want to learn it and want to develop an eye for taste, and it's definitely something. I mean, there's plenty of better designers than me, and they probably weren't even born with it. They learned it through school only and stuff like that. And so I think kind of being born with talent is also kind of a curse, because if you don't work hard at it too, and you kind of get a little cocky.
Right.
Like when I was in college, man, I thought I was the dude. I thought I was the can I
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought I was the shit, dude. And like the teachers were like, kind of, they thought I was like arrogant, and honestly looking back, I'm like, man, I was too arrogant.
Would they say like you're arrogant, or oh wow, they really said that? Yeah.
Like I thought like I knew everything, and I didn't. And being talented can kind of hold you back. I mean, that was just like my freshman year. Like I obviously humbled up once I realized like there's so much.
No, you were really young too. Like yeah.
But like dude, I thought I knew everything. They give me a design, they give me an assignment, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm doing, I'm doing it this way, And so I think like being born with a little natural talent is kind of bad sometimes, because it actually holds you back from really learning and refining things, versus if you know nothing and you're starting with a completely fresh palette, you might end up being better, because you'll learn actually how design works, the actual functionality of it and all that. So I think truthfully, you need a balance of both. You do need to have that natural talent. I do appreciate that I have the ability to just look at colors, and I already know what works with that and all that. But at the same time, like I had to learn that ability to refine things and, just dissect it from a mathematical standpoint. So
yeah, I really like that. And a couple of things that popped up in my head, and it's something I notice a lot here in LA, here in America. When you go to a restaurant, I feel like it's really dark, and there's like no clock on the wall. It seems like they want you to be sitting there.
Yes.
And like the lights are shaped in a way that it kind of just keeps you there. I don't know if it's like a psychological thing. Are there places you go and you notice they're trying to like almost manipulate you with the environment?
Yes.
I noticed that with restaurants. Do you notice that anywhere?
100%. So like what you said is spot on, by the way.
Oh,
like when it's calm, the lights are dark and dim and there's no clock, you're not aware of time. And when you're not aware of time, you're not aware of your wallet either. So you're going to spend more money too. And then also like think about restaurants that want you to get in and out, like McDonald's. Their colors are red and yellow.
Yeah.
Right? So if you look at red and yellow, they're so like uncomfortable to look at that you don't want to be there for. Like it signifies quickness and speed. Even the way a McDonald's sign is, like you see it on the freeway, it's so high up. It's like, hey, stop by, eat quickly, and leave. If you go to Disneyland, they actually have like certain spots on the floor that are heated so that you don't stand there for too long and they keep you walking.
Really?
Or certain parts won't have shade so that you can keep the line moving and keep pushing. Or like if you ever notice you're in line for a ride, there's parts with shade and there's parts without shade, and you're kind of like, when you're not in the shade and you see that next compartment is in the shade, you're like, I can't wait to get to that part. So it keeps you engaged. It keeps you waiting in line for the whole time of the ride, because it keeps you wanting to get to the next point of the line. So yeah, there's of course there's like tons of little like elements like colors, lighting, and all that. But that's interesting that you mentioned the restaurant one, because that's really accurate. That's like a perfect description of it.
Yeah, it's like any restaurant you go to, you kind of feel that. But I honestly had no idea about Disneyland, that they kind of changed the environment like that. That's super cool. Do you sorry, one sec. We'll cut this part out.
No worries.
My question.
I'm gonna drink some water.
Yeah.
Do that.
We'll cut this part out.
You did me a favor.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I remember. How am I doing? Am I okay?
Dude, you're doing great.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Awesome.
I feel like we're just
having a chat.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's how I want you to feel. Okay. Dustin, can I start again? Dustin? He probably can't hear me, but that's fine. I'm gonna start again and just. Okay. Yeah, so one thing I really wanted to understand. So, okay, for me, for example, when I go to a neighborhood and I look at the very modern homes, they honestly all look like the same thing.
Hmm.
It's like one brown block or black block that's shaped this way,
Yep.
one that's shaped that way. It's kind of like an X sign almost, or like a addition sign, and they all look the same.
Hmm.
Is that Do you have like any thoughts on that? I think I'm like, why is it all shaped like that? And like, I honestly don't think it looks good. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like, and I always preach because I get so many comments on my YouTube or my Instagram where it's like, well, like if I point out design mistakes, people are like, well, not everyone has money to be doing that and all that, or not everyone has the budget for that. And I always preach that like money does not buy good taste. And you just said it, like you go into these neighborhoods, people have tons of money to remodel their home, build them from the ground up, and this is the design that they come up with, right?
Yeah.
It's like they come up with this box with so many corners and no personality. And yeah, no, I totally have my opinions on it. I always like on my channel always talk about historic designs, like what we should be bringing back, things we should maintain and preserve, because I think especially with the way the economy's set up, like it just doesn't reward people taking their time to build stuff.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
It's all about it's all about speed and permits, and you got to do this quick. So that naturally translates to what kind of design you're gonna get. Because if you're in a design meeting and your design could be really ambitious, but if you need stuff done quickly, a lot of homes that you see remodeled, people are just flipping them. So they have a deadline on when that home needs to be finished. They don't have time to, have like a marble, chiseled, line or whatever the case is, like they don't have
Mini Michelangelos. Yeah.
This is Sistine Chapel painted, right? So they're like, no, dude, like let's get this done as soon as possible. And that translates into the design world, right? Because you can clearly see like profits are being, desired more than like the actual finish of the look. And I'm always preaching, like, I think for me, I always talk about like having character in your home. And, that's actually why I do like thrifting, is because I find that it's accessible for every budget. I mean, you can go to antique stores that are like really expensive too. Like there's definitely a market for the luxury antique market and stuff. But I think like most of the time thrifting or secondhand stuff is just accessible to everybody's budget. And it allows you to have like really nice personality in your home, stuff that, was handmade, like made with integrity, but you now get to buy it for like, I mean, it's so crazy the prices you can buy stuff. Like this beautifully handmade like desk will be sold for like $6 at a Goodwill. And it's like, so like, how do you not want to buy that? But yeah, no, I sometimes I look at homes and sometimes they're really nice. Like, I don't know if you ever go through like Beverly Hills and you see some of the homes that have been there for like maybe 50 plus years. They typically look the best on the block. It's like you could tell there was actual effort being put into these homes and all that. So, yeah, I think, and then also like the HGTV kind of like society we have, where also we see homes that are like fix and flip, and what's the fastest way we can flip this, and all that. So I think that also people watch that and they think, oh, that's what it means to have great taste. So now when I get my dream home, I'm gonna do that to my house as well. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually never looked at it that way, like fix and flip, because yeah, I just never considered any other alternative, because to be honest, nothing was really fed to us. That's the only thing that was kind of fed to me, seeing design. So it's like interesting to see different perspectives. And one thing that I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy named Gehl. He wrote this book one time called Cities for People. He's designed like parts of New York, Copenhagen, I think parts of San Francisco. He's an urban planner, and his like mission is to make cities more walking accessible.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, I really want to know, because you notice that, especially in LA, it's not really a walking accessible city. Like, to get from one thing to the next, you basically have to be in a car sit in a lot of traffic, and I think that really adds for a lot of sadness. Um, how important do you think are like walkable cities, or like cities designed for people, not designed for transportation?
So on the way to get here, I'm driving through downtown LA, right?
Yeah,
And there's not a soul in sight. And it got me thinking the exact same question, where it's like, where in LA is there a city that you can live in without a car?
it
And
literally doesn't exist.
right,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I do think about that. It's like LA is huge, it's so spread out, so of course, like, naturally it's not going to be a walkable city. Like, you got, the LA has Santa Monica, has Venice Beach downtown, like Beverly Hills. Like, it's all so spread out, so it's really difficult for you to walk. It's more of a drivable city. I think that's probably why we have so much traffic too, because you can't walk anywhere.
And it drives you crazy.
It really
Yeah,
does. But my opinion is like, I think if you notice, um I think in the US, like, you'll notice like that there's I mean, I don't know, people say like there's higher obesity rates and stuff like that. It's like, I think when you're not getting your steps in, and if you notice like more metropolitan cities, like, people are healthier. I think if you can walk around, get your steps in, and walk to everywhere you need to go, like, I think that is overall like better for your overall health as well. And it is a little like saddening, because any area, there's not a lot of people walking. So then it makes you feel like, wow, this is a dead zone. And it makes you, I think it encourages people to stay inside their homes, right?
yeah.
Because,
No, it's a big thing. Yeah.
because when you go and you see like there's nobody, you go to a bar, there's nobody there, or you go to like Santa Monica Promenade, and it's like kind of dead. You're like, man, like, well, I don't want to be the only one out here, like, so I'm gonna go back home. And I think like, having a walkable city where people need to walk everywhere just naturally makes it feel more lively, and it definitely will encourage people to like feel like happier, as you would say.
One thing that really surprises me, and I maybe the reason is because it's older, but you see places in Europe, they are more conscious of how things are designed. Everything doesn't seem so cookie cutter when you go to Europe. And I'm thinking, why is that in Europe they're more design conscious, but America is kind of like, you build and you move on, you build and you move on, because it's like you're just profiting. I don't know, like, do you know why it is that in Europe it's so much more like people, it seems like more care is put into things? Do you think it's because it's an older place, there's older structures there, or do you have any opinions on that?
I mean, it's a great question. I think the age of the cities does have something to do with it, right? Because if a city was built before like the modern car was invented, then that means it's going to be more walkable.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I think it's the lifestyle that people have over there, right? You're really outside of the US, not even just Europe, outside of the US, your home is really meant to be somewhere where you just sleep, and then everything that you need to do, you just do outside, So naturally that creates like smaller homes, like smaller spaces. So you'll notice that if you have a smaller box, that like if I told you like, hey, design this box that's like maybe the size of this room that we're in, you get to be a lot more detailed, right? Like, you're like, oh yeah, like, I'm gonna start, like maybe chiseling the edges, I'm gonna add molding here. It's a smaller space, so it's not so like time and what do they call it, time consuming. Yeah, it's not so time consuming and expensive to just design your own small box, right? Versus like if you're in California, you have this huge home, right, that you need to design. Eventually things start to look like this white box that you always see, where it's like there's just not a lot of detail, because it would take forever to build something that big and have a lot of detail and all that. Like, a lot of they have like this church in Spain where the people that started building it are no longer alive today. Like, you don't imagine that you're building something, you don't even get to see what it looks like when it's finished, So I don't know if it has to do with maybe culture, maybe the size that things are, like people are more like compartmentalized, like closer together. So the smaller the space you have, the prettier you want it to be, because you're like, hey, this is all I have, so I might as well make it look nice. I think there's a rich history of artistry in Europe as well, so maybe that translates as well. But yeah, I don't know. I think their culture as well is not very capitalistically driven. So I think also there may be more of an element of people just like, not caring how long things take. And like, I just want it to look nice, like, instead of like, how much money am I going to make from this particular project? So, yeah.
Yeah. And, I want to segue a little bit into, you actually have plans of, actually, you and your family, you're going to be moving to France. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So,
like, what motivated you to do that? Because that's a big move from the USA, from like LA to France. So what motivated you?
Yeah, like it's kind of like, I think it sounds kind of like it sounds so funny like if I say it out loud, but it's like we went to Europe for vacation. It was my first time going. I mean, I've been to Sweden and stuff, and I've been to other parts of Europe, but I went to like like the typical places people go, like Italy and France. And before I went, like, because I still love America. I love, this country. I'm so happy to be here. So
yeah,
I always thought, like, I would always hear what they would say about us. And I'm like, man, there's no way it's that cool over there, So yeah. I went, and I really had really low expectations. And maybe that could have been, but I went, and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. People are walking, people are out, people are enjoying themselves. The food was just so amazing, such high quality. I actually like took the time to like when I was in France and when I was in Italy, like I actually kind of like went to the grocery stores, and I was like, oh, like let's go to the grocery store. Let's have our own little picnic. Let's see how that goes. Like, let's see how the people shop that live here. And I was just so happy with the prices for the quality that you're getting. I'm like, wow, like I was like, I tasted a little tomato. I'm like, dang, is this what a tomato is supposed to taste like? I'm serious. Like, nothing had preservatives. Yeah. Everything was so fresh, so delicious. And like, I was eating as much as I wanted, and like, I was like losing weight. And then, I'm like, I'm seeing the buildings, the architecture style, and I'm an interior designer, so that's what I'm most passionate about. And then the entire environment around me has that. So then it got me thinking, like, my wife and I ask each other, like, hey, so like, what do you think? Everyone kind of says that when they're on vacation. Like, what do you think? And we're just like, oh, my wife was like, oh, like, yeah, but what would we do with this? Or I'm like, oh yeah, I'll think about it. And I come back, hey, remember when you asked me, like, funny thing, but like, I figured out a solution for this. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. But like, what would we do with the dogs?
Right.
Okay, let me look at it. Like, I go back, and then I keep coming back with a bunch of solutions. And then it kind of went from like being like kind of a joke to like, hey, we can really do this.
Yeah.
Like.
Did that whole process take like a couple of years, or when was it that you went and then you made the decision?
I went in December or late November.
Of 24?
December.
Of
2024, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like 7
like less than a year ago, 7 months ago. And we were hooked like pretty quick. And it took us, like that amount of time to really decide and go with the visa process and all that. And it is a risk too, because I think, when you go somewhere on vacation, you're like, oh, this is great. I have, as much research as I have done, I still don't know what it's going to be like to live there. So we very much left it open on this side to be able to come back, if we don't like it. So yeah, like, but it is exciting. I do feel like my wife and I feel like our life is over there. We went over there and we felt like we left where our life should be. It feels like we left that behind when we came back. And I just told myself, do I want to be someone who lives with regret, or do I want to be someone who did it, tried it, didn't like it, and I'm happy where I am anyway?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to get into kind of a little bit, like, not having regrets is very important. And it seems to me that people don't understand the importance of design and architecture. Do you think the world kind of underestimates the importance of that to like a well-functioning society and happiness?
Yeah, and what's so great is like a lot of the historical designs that you've seen, like as beautiful as they are, they have like function, Like, for example, I love mid-century modern because, it came out of the mid-century after the World War, where materials and resources were sparse and labor was sparse. So they really developed a way where they can create furniture for more people, because things were more like custom made. But then when you have all the laborers are in the military now, and there's like less people that can really spend on designing things, they're like, how can we make furniture for everybody, but also like, make it more accessible. So like, I think the stuff that we get is kind of comes from the environment. What do they say? The father of invention comes from lack of necessity or something like that?
Yeah, the mother of invention is lack of necessity. Or is like the importance of necessity or something. Yeah. I'm not even sure. Yeah.
Something like that. So yeah, I think, architecture will always be so important, like in terms of that. And I don't know if you ever see like How I Met Your Mother. Have you ever seen that show?
Yeah.
Ted is like his most important goal is like to have a building on the New York skyline. Like that was so important to him, because that was like, when you look at it, you could see the one he designed and all that. But yeah, it serves a function, but also shows a historic representation of what today looks like. Anytime a new building comes up, it describes the environment that building came up in. So if you see a bunch of stuff that's just like, white boxes and there's no character, people are 100 years from now are going to look back and say, that's the environment people must have lived in. Like, that's what the history was like back then. So I think what we can do moving forward is design things with purpose, also functionality, but let's really start to wow people again. And I am seeing a lot of beautiful designs coming up, which is really exciting for like, just general architecture and all that. So yeah, I think beauty will come back.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
for sure.
hopeful. Okay.
Well, because like, at one point people were saying that about mid-century modern was like, oh, what happened to detail? Everything is all sleek and boring. Like, what happened to detail? And then like you see the 70s and the 80s, you start to see a lot more color, a lot more pop and all that. So it's totally cyclical. Like, you're going to start to see, we're already seeing it. Like, we're going to start to see a lot more beauty, in my opinion, like come up, because people are now noticing these things and all that. So
yeah,
it's cyclical.
No, I like to hear that, because beauty coming back is always going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted your opinion. Like, this honestly kind of selfishly, because I like paintings and I like plants in the home. Do you think that affects the space in like a good way? Or is that like a good way is there any way to like incorporate that into your home?
Yeah.
In a good way, like in a nice way?
I always like would suggest, like, anytime you buy a painting or an art piece, don't get the like just the cookie cutter stuff on Amazon with the prints and all that, because it's like I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's gonna really tell a story. So what is the alternative? I just think an art piece or a painting or just some type of wall art is something that you get to look at and feel something. And it could be that you're feeling really motivated. Like, you look at a piece and it inspires you. Like, when you wake up every morning, you see the same art piece and it has a message where it's like, I gotta go kick ass today. Like, that's important. There's value in that. That's gonna help you be more successful. Or when you come home, like, maybe it's a painting that's like really lets you know your day was worth it. And then also, like, plants are great because they bring life into your space. It brings nature from the outside in. And a lot of times we are kind of stuck in our homes, and we don't really, outside of work or school or whatever, we don't really spend too much time outside of our homes. Even like, we're Amazon freshing everything and Amazon Prime. So like, at least having like the outside world in your home is so important. It really makes you feel kind of human again, that you're connected with the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice, man. And my last question to wrap things up is, where do you see Shouk House 5 years from now?
Ideally, like, I would love to be doing the same things that I'm doing now, which is like just continuously making more home decor content for people. I'd love to see it kind of be like an interactive community as well, where like I have like subscribers that I have a few now, like subscribers that are like really engaged in the channel, but I would love to have like, something like that where maybe I have like community events with it, like kind of like more of a brand, and maybe I would like to touch a little bit into fashion in the future as well, because that is another really big interest of mine. I'm just still trying to think about how I can connect it. It might be just starting an entire separate channel as well, but that's a lot of work for now. So probably will. But yeah, I definitely want to, I see it being a place where any individual can come to and say, hey, I want to improve my home. Where do I start? And I want Shouk House to be the best channel for that. Maybe I'm not giving the best advice, but I explain it the best way. Like I want to be someone
No, you
who
really
explains
do.
it, so.
Yeah.
And I really always want to stay authentic and come from a place where I know what the viewer is going through because I've been there. So I just want to stay in touch with people and like just really keep doing what I'm doing. I just really love it. So if I can keep doing this and support myself and my family, like I'd be so thankful for that.
Amazing.
Sure.
And if people want to get into contact with you, where can they find you? Go ahead and let them know.
So you can DM me on my Instagram, Shouk House, SHOUK House. I'm sure you can probably
Yeah,
okay.
We're gonna link it below.
Okay, so you can message me on my Instagram. You can email me. It's contact@shoukhouse.com. Those are two best ways to get a hold of me. And if you need help with a particular space, you want to do a design consultation with me, or just an entire design project, I'd love to help you. Or you can always just leave a comment on one of my YouTube videos or my Instagrams on a specific video that caught your eye and really help. You can ask a question and I can elaborate further. I'm always happy to just answer DMs for people if it's within the capacity of my time. So if you've got a question and it's not quite an entire consultation, it's totally okay for you to shoot that DM to me, and I'm happy to answer it as long as my time permits. But that's the best way to get a hold of me is Instagram and email.
Perfect. Thank you. We're going to link that in the description. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks everyone. Peace.
Thank you.